Have you ever been in one of those moments where you want to make him lose his mind, where you want to make him feel things no one else ever has, but somewhere deep inside, you start to wonder, am I doing this right? You want to turn him on, you want to make it unforgettable, but instead of confidence, you start feeling pressure. Suddenly, it's not about connection anymore, it's about performance. And the more you try to get it right, the more disconnected it starts to feel. Here's what most women don't realize. 95% of women are making the same 4 mistakes that completely kill the spark in the most intimate moments. Not because they don't care, but because no one ever taught them how men actually experience passion. You see, most women focus on what they're doing when what truly drives a man wild is how you make him feel. When he's with you, he doesn't just want pleasure. He wants energy. He wants that mix of softness and confidence. The way you look at him, like you see him, not just his body, but the man behind it. That's what makes him addicted to you. That's what makes him crave you and only you. But here's the problem when you start overthinking, when you treat it like a performance instead of a connection, that natural feminine magnetism fades. And the thing that was supposed to bring you closer suddenly becomes just another moment that passes without meaning. So today, I want to show you how to change that forever. Because when you stop making these 4 mistakes, you won't just please him, you'll captivate him. You'll make him feel safe, wanted, and completely obsessed in the best way possible. So before you ever go there again, stop, breathe, and listen carefully. Because the difference between being good and being unforgettable comes down to these 4 mistakes most women never realize they're making. Let's start with the biggest one, because this is where everything begins to shift. Most women, without even realizing it, start performing instead of connecting. You know what I mean? You're in the moment, but you're not really there. You're thinking about how you look, how you sound, if he's enjoying it, if you're doing it right. And the second your mind starts racing like that, you disconnect from the actual energy that makes intimacy powerful. Here's the truth that most people never talk about. Passion dies the moment performance begins. Because connection isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's not about being the best he's ever had, it's about being the one who makes him feel something real. And you can't make him feel something real if you're stuck in your head trying to live up to some imaginary standard. Men can sense that. They can feel when you're not truly there with them. Even if everything looks right, it still feels hollow. And what men crave, what truly melts them, isn't a flawless performance. It's authenticity. It's that unspoken moment where your energy says, I'm not trying to impress you, I'm just with you. When a woman lets go of the need to perform, her energy completely transforms. Her movements become more natural. Her confidence radiates differently, her presence deepens. Suddenly, she's not doing something to him, she's sharing something with him, and that's where the magic happens. That's where intimacy becomes unforgettable. I always say, a woman who's connected to herself doesn't need to try hard to be sexy. She is sexy. It's not about technique or tricks, it's about the energy behind them. When you're truly present, when you're tuned into your own body, when you're enjoying the connection instead of worrying about how it looks, that's when he feels it. That's when he loses himself. And you think about it, how many times have you been in a moment where your mind was everywhere else? You were thinking, do I look okay? Am I doing this right? What is he thinking right now? That voice in your head kills connection faster than anything else, because passion isn't mental, it's emotional. So here's what you need to remember. He doesn't want a performance. He wants a presence. He wants that moment where you're confident enough to just be, to breathe, to look into his eyes and let him feel your energy without needing to prove anything. That's what turns a man on more than anything else. If you want to make a man obsessed, stop trying to win him in those moments. Stop thinking you have to impress him. He's already there with you. What he's craving now is your authenticity, your calm confidence, your emotional openness. Because when you're connected, not just physically, but emotionally, you awaken something deeper in him. You make him feel safe to open up, to let go, to trust you. And that's the secret no one teaches. The most seductive thing a woman can ever be is real. So the next time you find yourself in that moment, slow down, take a breath, forget how you think it's supposed to be. Look at him, feel the connection, and let your energy lead. Because when you stop performing and start connecting, that's when you stop being good and start being unforgettable. Now let's talk about something that most women have been conditioned to do, putting him first. You focus on his reactions, his breathing, his enjoyment, his needs, and before you know it, you've completely forgotten your own. You're giving, but you're not allowing yourself to feel. And here's what most women don't realize that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in intimacy. Because when you ignore your own pleasure, you also disconnect from your own feminine energy, the very thing that makes you magnetic in the first place. See, men don't just respond to what you do, they respond to the energy you give off. And nothing is more attractive, more intoxicating, more unforgettable than a woman who is enjoying herself. When you're tuned into your own body, when you're feeling your own pleasure, it changes the entire energy in the room. You stop trying to perform and you start to glow. Most women were never taught this. They were taught that being good means being selfless, that it's about giving everything without expecting anything back. But here's the truth. Men don't want a woman who gives at the expense of herself. They want a woman who gives from a place of aliveness. When you enjoy yourself, when you allow yourself to feel pleasure, it gives him permission to do the same. It creates a rhythm, an emotional connection where both people are feeding off each other's energy. That's what turns physical intimacy into something emotional and powerful. So if you catch yourself thinking, I just want to make him happy, I want you to flip that thought. Instead, think, I want to share this moment with him. Because when you're enjoying the moment too, you create something that feels real. You're not just doing something for him, you're doing something with him. And believe me, that's what drives a man crazy. He doesn't want to feel like he's being pleased. He wants to feel like he's part of something deeper, something you're both experiencing together. Here's a simple truth: confidence is contagious. When a woman feels good in her own skin, when she's comfortable enough to enjoy herself, she radiates confidence. And men feel that energy instantly. They relax, they open up, they connect. But when you're too focused on his reaction, you lose touch with that inner power. You start overthinking instead of feeling. You start acting instead of being. And he feels that too, even if he can't explain why. So the next time you're in that space with someone, shift your attention. Don't just ask, is he enjoying this? Ask, am I enjoying this? Because your enjoyment is not selfish, it's essential. It's what turns a simple moment into something unforgettable. When you embrace your own pleasure, you become more present. You move differently. You breathe differently. You connect differently. That feminine confidence that comes from feeling good, that's what pulls him in. That's what keeps him thinking about you long after the moment is over. So stop thinking that focusing on yourself makes you selfish. It doesn't. It makes you magnetic. Because when you're in touch with your own pleasure, your energy becomes irresistible, and that's something no technique can ever replace. Now, this one might surprise you, because a lot of women think the faster they move, the more exciting it becomes. They think passion is about intensity, about doing more, about getting to the main event as quickly as possible. But here's the truth: the most powerful moments of intimacy don't happen in speed. They happen in stillness. Rushing is one of the biggest passion killers out there, because when you rush, you skip over all the tiny, beautiful details that actually build desire. The glances, the teasing, the rhythm, the anticipation. Those are the moments that make the connection electric. Men might not say it out loud, but they love the slow build. They crave the suspense, the tension, the delicious wait before everything unfolds. It's not about how fast you move, it's about how deeply you make him feel every second. Here's something you should know: when you slow things down, you instantly become more confident. You take control without being forceful. You communicate through your energy that you are not in a hurry, because you know the value of your presence. That's incredibly powerful. When a woman rushes, it often comes from insecurity, that voice in her head saying, let's just get through this, or I don't want to make it awkward. But when she slows down, when she takes her time, it shows comfort, confidence, and emotional maturity. And that's what completely captivates a man. Think about the last time you were truly in the moment, when time seemed to disappear and you could feel every small detail. That's what happens when you let go of the pressure to perform and instead surrender to the connection. You move slower, you breathe deeper, you look at him longer. That energy tells him, I'm not here to rush, I'm here to feel. Men notice that deeply. When you slow down, you make him chase your rhythm. You make him wait for what's coming next. That anticipation is intoxicating. It keeps him completely present with you because he doesn't know what you'll do next. And that mystery is what keeps passion alive. Slowing down also gives space for emotion. It lets you feel him, not just physically, but emotionally. You start noticing how he responds, how he looks at you, how he breathes. That awareness is where real connection happens, because passion isn't just about bodies, it's about attention. So don't be afraid of silence. Don't be afraid of eye contact. Don't be afraid of going slow. Those pauses, those little breaks where time seems to stand still, that's where chemistry lives. That's where you become unforgettable. When you rush, it's over before it begins. But when you take your time, you create a moment that stays with him long after it's done. Remember, confidence isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about being comfortable enough to move at your own pace. And when a man feels that from you, he'll never forget it, because slowing down tells him something words never could, that you're not just there for the act, you're there for the connection. So the next time you're in that moment, pause, breathe, let the silence work for you. Because when you slow down, you stop being predictable and start being irresistible. Let's be honest, physical chemistry is easy. Anyone can have that initial spark, that rush of adrenaline, that butterflies in your stomach kind of excitement. But real intimacy, the kind that makes him emotionally addicted to you, the kind that keeps him thinking about you long after it's over, that doesn't come from the body. It comes from the heart. And yet this is where so many women unknowingly lose the magic. They get so focused on technique, on what he likes, on what to do, that they forget the most powerful part of any intimate connection, the emotional energy behind it. Because here's the truth: if he doesn't feel emotionally safe with you, he may enjoy the moment, but he won't feel moved by it. It'll be something he experiences, not something he remembers. And you don't want to be just another experience. You want to be the woman who touches him in a way no one else ever has. Men might not say it out loud, but they crave emotional connection just as much as women do. They've just been taught to hide it. They crave that feeling of being seen, understood, and accepted without judgment. When you can give that to a man, when he feels that your energy is calm, open, and genuine, that's when he starts letting his guard down. That's when he trusts you enough to be vulnerable. When you bring emotional presence into an intimate moment, everything changes. Suddenly, it's not about what's happening physically. It's about how deeply you're both feeling it. He starts responding differently. His touch changes. His focus shifts entirely to you, because for the first time, he's not just connected to your body, he's connected to you. That's why I always say intimacy without emotion is just an action, but intimacy with emotion is a memory. It's the difference between being physically closely and being truly connected. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't take grand gestures to create that emotional depth. It's in the small things, the way you look at him when he least expects it, the way your voice softens when you whisper something honest, the way you reach out and touch him like you're saying, "You're safe with me." Those tiny moments are where emotional intimacy is built, because passion doesn't come from the physical act. It comes from the emotional presence you bring into it. So how do you bring that emotional connection back? You slow down. You listen, you tune into his energy instead of your insecurities. You let your guard down just a little so he feels safe enough to do the same. When you make eye contact and hold it, when you let silence fill the space without trying to fix it, when you touch him in a way that says, "I'm here with you," that's when everything changes. Most people think emotional connection happens naturally. It doesn't. It's something you create through awareness and intention. When you bring warmth, empathy, and softness into an intimate space, you give him something no one else can: peace. And trust me, when a man feels peace with you, when he feels emotionally seen and connected, he won't just desire you, he'll cherish you. Because it's not the physical experience he'll remember, it's how you made him feel. So stop worrying about being perfect. Stop overthinking what he wants. Instead, focus on being emotionally present, because when you connect heart to heart instead of just body to body, you turn a simple moment into something unforgettable. Remember, attraction might start in the eyes, but love begins in the emotional space you create together. Now, this one is huge, and it's something so many women struggle with, often without even realizing it, because deep down, you've probably been taught that asking for what you want might make things awkward, that you should just go with the flow, that it's better to to stay quiet than risk breaking the mood. But here's the truth: silence doesn't keep the connection, it kills it. When you don't speak up about what you want, what you like, what you need, you're not protecting the connection. You're hiding from it. And the longer you hide, the more distant it becomes. See, men aren't mind readers. They don't magically know what feels right, what makes you feel safe, or what truly turns you on emotionally. And when you hold it in, when you pretend everything's fine, even when something feels off, you rob both of you of real intimacy. Because real connection can only happen when there's honesty. Think about it. When you don't communicate, you're not only holding back your voice, you're holding back yourself. And no matter how perfect the moment looks, it'll never feel complete because you're not being fully present. But here's the secret most women don't know. Men find it incredibly attractive when a woman communicates clearly and confidently, when she knows what she wants, and she's unafraid to express it with warmth and grace. That's magnetic. It's not demanding, it's empowering. The key, though, is how you communicate. It's not about correcting or criticizing. It's about inviting him into your world, guiding him with kindness and confidence. You can do it through body language, a gentle touch, or even a simple whisper that says, "I love it when you," instead of "don't do that." That small shift makes all the difference, because it doesn't make him feel wrong. It makes him feel trusted. It draws him closer instead of pushing him away. When you communicate what you enjoy, you also show him something powerful, that you're comfortable with yourself. You're not afraid of your own desires, your own needs, your own pleasure, and that kind of self-assurance is irresistible. Most women stay silent out of fear of being judged, fear of being misunderstood, fear of ruining the moment. But the truth is, vulnerability is what creates depth. When you can be open, honest, and expressive without shame, you invite him into a space that's real. And that's what every man secretly craves: a woman who's not pretending, a woman who isn't performing or suppressing her feelings, but who's brave enough to say, "This is what I like," or "That makes me feel close to you." When you start communicating like that, something beautiful happens. He starts doing it too. You create a cycle of honesty and trust that deepens the connection far beyond the surface. He feels seen, you feel understood, and that's when intimacy becomes not just exciting, but meaningful. So if you've ever felt hesitant to speak up, remember, this communication isn't about control. It's about connection. It's not about telling him what to do. It's about showing him who you are. When you can express yourself with confidence and kindness, you don't just create better moments, you create real chemistry. The kind that makes him think, she's different, she's real, she knows herself. Because a woman who communicates what she wants isn't just confident, she's unforgettable. Ladies, before you go, let's talk about what really matters. You see, this isn't just about one act or one moment of intimacy. It's about how you show up in your connection. It's about knowing your worth, owning your sensual energy, and never performing just to be liked. When you understand that you are the experience, not the act, you stop giving away your power. You stop trying to impress and start expressing. That's where true intimacy lives. So if you've ever wondered, am I doing too much just to keep him interested? Here's your sign to pause, to breathe, to remember that confidence is the most seductive thing in the world. You don't need to do what 95% of women are doing. You just need to be present, playful, and intentional. When you shift your focus from perfection to connection, everything changes. And here's your challenge tonight. Don't just take this as advice, take it as a mindset shift. Stop giving energy to what doesn't serve you. Start creating moments that feed your confidence, not drain it. Because the moment you step into your power, he'll feel it instantly. And trust me, that's what keeps a man addicted, not the act, but the energy behind it. If this resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and drop a power shift in the comments so I know you're one of the women stepping into her confidence today. Remember, real desire begins with respect, and real attraction begins with self-worth. You are the main character in every room you walk into. So stop performing, start connecting, and watch how everything changes.